This is the Fantasy Roadshow.
Welcome in, everybody, to another Sunday live stream with your boys here on the Road Show. Shane, how you doing today?
Man, doing well. It's been a great morning for me. I woke up early. I saw my K-State Wildcats beat Colorado last night. I recorded the game last night, woke up early, stayed off social media so I could watch it. It's
Great
a great
game.
morning so far.
Yeah, good on you. That's a good move. That game was kicking off Eastern, like 10 p.m.
Yeah, and it was like so delayed because they had so many like instant replay reviews, like so it was going longer and longer. So played out.
Yeah,
perfectly.
I saw Coach Prime was bitching about the late kickoff and how not too many people are gonna be watching them play and whatnot. But
Yeah,
either way, good game for your K-State over there.
yeah, definitely.
Have you been watching the Bears game this morning?
Yeah, I went straight from K-State to right. I finished that right at kickoff of Bear, so that was perfect timing. So
nice. Yeah, Bears. Watching the game last week was the same way. The first drive, just 3 and out. The other team put up points first, and it's just such a slow start that it's so aggravating to watch. But then by the end of the first half, you're like, all right, we're up 14-3, so we're in a good spot. But just the expectations are so high for me with the Bears that it's like watching them struggle early on is tough. So, but anyway, welcome in. We're talking week 6, Sunday start sits. If you guys have any questions, feel free to fire them off. We're going to be talking about our own start sit questions, and then we're going to be covering the slate for today, talking about what games we like, who we like in the games, and who we're willing to start. Some of the bets I like them placing. But anyway, Shane, do you have any questions right in the morning? Well, looks like we got one. Ryan, good morning. Happy Sunday. Pick one to start in the flex, please. McLaurin, Chase Brown, or Tolbert. I fear the last Ravens game was a fluke, and they will come out and get pressure on the rookie today. Shane, what do you think here?
So, Ryan, actually, I kind of agree with you a little bit on this also. I kind of feel the same way. I feel like this is going to be a tougher game for Jaden Daniels in that offense. But if I'm looking at your options, if Zach Moss was out not playing, I would probably go Chase Brown. But Zach Moss is playing, so that's going to be back to a split, an even split. Tolbert had the nice game last week, but this could easily be flipped, and you see more targets for Jake Ferguson. I'm going with Scary Terry still in this game. I just think even if this is not a great game, like that Washington doesn't stay as close or doesn't win, like they're going to be down throwing the ball. So I'm going with the number one target on that offense.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Scary Terry all day. The Ravens' pass defense is pretty bad, in relation to the rest of the NFL. So Terry McLaurin, we've seen him having those bomb plays, those big explosive plays. Just one big touchdown play can make your day fantasy-wise. So he has the highest upside to me, and I think the lowest floor between Chase Brown and Tolbert as well. But I do like Tolbert in this action in this game. I want pieces of that Dallas passing attack. So I like Tolbert too. What's up, Chad? Dak or Daniels this week at QB1? I'm going to go Dak. And Shane, are you agreeing with me as the Cowboys faithful over there? Are you taking Dak or Daniels?
So this kind of goes back to, I was talking with Ryan. I kind of agree a little bit with his when I'm going to go Dak in this regards for two things. I think you look at that Ravens pass defense, and ratings wise, they're not great, but when I was looking at it yesterday, it's a little bit skewed by 3 bad road performances. And when they played at home, they held Josh Allen to QB 28, and then they held, I know it was Gardner Minshew, but they held him to QB 18. So I think this is a come down game a little bit for Daniels. And then on the other side, just with the Cowboys, this is going to be, I think it's the highest, it's either the highest or second highest projected point total of the week. So I think this is a high scoring game. I think Dak's throwing a bunch. You look at last year, that week 17 game where he played the Lions, he threw for, I think, 370 yards and a couple touchdowns. I could easily see a similar performance.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want pieces in this game. I feel like this is going to be the best game of the day. Is that Lions and Cowboys game? So I want pieces in that game for
Yeah.
sure. Thanks. What's going on with the Jags? Think they will fire their coach or trade Travis Etienne? I don't know, because Tank Bigsby, everyone was hot on him when he first came in the league, and then it was cooled off on that season because he didn't do much. Now he's kind of coming into his own, and we've seen teams like having this two-headed backfield. Think about the Cowboy or the Lions, right? You got David Montgomery, and you got Jahmyr Gibbs. Teams want to have a two-headed running back. That's what it's better for your team, better for the longevity of the players. So I don't think they're going to trade Travis Etienne. I feel like he's tied to Trevor Lawrence pretty well. And firing their coach, maybe. They start 1-4 still early on in the season. Typically these London games get them on track. I saw the stat. I don't know if you saw that stat early on. They're like 4-11 prior to a London game, and then after the London game, they're like 13-6 or something. So this is usually when they get back on track. But I think it's a little early if they're going to fire Peterson, and I don't think they trade Travis Etienne. They just want to have that two-headed backfield. What do you think?
I think they could fire Peterson, but I don't think it would come after this game because they've got another London game. I just don't think while they're in London, they're doing that move. If they go 0-2 in their second home away from home, then maybe that's when they fire him coming back off of that. And then you don't see very many big moves like that where a running back one is traded in mid-season. We just don't see a ton of it. So yeah, it's hard for me to see that either.
It's just tough for Etienne owners. You drafted him based on the perception of last year, and it just hasn't really happened so far this year. So, Ryan, I am playing Brian Thomas Jr. today, and he's not getting much, even with the banged-up Bears D. Well, who's not banged up is Jalen Johnson. And if you watched our red light, green light episode earlier on in the week, you would understand that we were saying, hey, you probably shouldn't start Brian Thomas this week. The Bears defense, even without Jaquan Brisker, they're still a good defense. But to be fair, watching this game early on, Brian Thomas was involved early. He had a couple nice plays. So, he may still have that floor because he's encroaching that top 12 wide receiver for the rest of the season. He's becoming an elite wide receiver. He's showing the signs. So he's the type of talent that could overcome a bad matchup like today. Still early on in the game, second half just kicked off. So if you did play him, I still think he'll get you enough points for you not to be upset about it. But
my other concern for Thomas was the return of Evan Ingram. That's just going to naturally take away some of those targets that he had been getting the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he was the target leader last year. So gotcha. Great points. Well, thank you for your questions and your participation. If you guys have any other questions out there, feel free to fire them off. Shane and I are just going to talk through the slate real quick. Talk about each game. If you guys have any comments about the games we're talking about, feel free to fire them off. We'll talk. And I have cats just fighting right in front of me. It ceases to amaze me every Sunday when I'm recording. They're just on heightened mode, just fighting. So anyway, we have Arizona at Green Bay. I really like this game. I think this is going to be a good game. Green Bay is favored by 5.5 at home. Over under is 47.5. I think this has potential today to be a really, really high scoring game. What do you think here, Shane?
Yeah, I think for sure. Like I would be getting any and all offensive skill position players. I think it's a bounce back. He didn't have a bad week. I think he ended up in RB16, but I think a much better week for James Conner this week. Josh Jacobs is in a smash spot. So we get Romeo Doubs back. We'll see what that does with everyone's waiver wire darling of the week last week and Dontavian Wicks. But I think we're at a point now where Tucker Kraft is like a top 3-4 play of tight end. Like if you had your options, you're probably starting him over like the Laportas and Kincaids now.
Well, yeah, it's happening that way. We saw what's his name? The other tight end, I can't think of his name right now.
Luke Musgrave.
He's on the IR. Yeah, Musgrave is on the IR. And Romeo Doubs he had to deal with that suspension. Christian Watson can't stay on the field. So it seems like Kraft, through circumstances, is becoming a very reliable tight end. I have him in one of my lineups. I'm happy about it. Yeah. And I'm excited for today. I think last week showed what he's capable of. So very happy about that. I think Josh Jacobs has a big game today. I have a lot of money on Josh Jacobs today. I took his over in yards. I think he scores a touchdown today. Arizona's given up a lot of rushing touchdowns on the year, so I think it's a big Josh Jacobs day. Obviously, Jaden Reed is always in play. Love Jaden Reed. And then Arizona, James Conner is one of my guys that I talked about early on in the offseason, and I think he has a big game today as well. So I like all the pieces in this game, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring over type of game. So, yeah. Who do you think wins?
I like Green Bay in this game. I think
I do too.
Home game. I think it's a good spot for them.
Okay. All right. Next game, we have the Tennessee Titans at home against the Indianapolis Colts. The Bears just scored a touchdown. No, they did not. They're on the 1 yard line. I'll be talking as I'm watching the game. So yeah, the Tennessee Titans at home against the Colts. Anthony Richardson is back in the lineup. The Tennessee Titans are favored by 2.5, 42 over under. And I don't know. I don't really plan on watching this game too much. I think this is going to be an ugly game. Tennessee Titans have a really, really, really good defense. So I don't think it's great that Anthony Richardson is coming back in this matchup. And I think it's bad for all pieces in play. Trey Sermon is the starting running back. Don't like that too much, especially against his defense. And the only ones that are in play for me are the Tennessee Titans, Tony Pollard, what's his name, DeAndre Hopkins, and who's the other wide receiver?
Ridley.
Blanking on Calvin Ridley. I think those guys are going to have decent fantasy days just because Indianapolis defense is pretty trash. So, and Tennessee Titans are going to win. I think they're going to win by more than 2.5. What do you think there?
Yeah, Trey Sermon saved his day last week. He got kind of like a touchdown at the end of the game, and I think he still had 6 catches. Don't expect the catches with Richardson back in there.
Touchdown.
I
Keenan
think
Allen.
It's Keenan Allen scored.
Yep, 21-3. Let's go, baby.
Okay. That doesn't help me with my DJ Moore teams, but okay. I think if Tennessee had any quarterback besides Will Levis, they would win this game. But because they're still start Will Levis, I've still got the Colts winning this game. So I really think like even Mason Rudolph can go in there and win that game. But I'd take the Colts in this game. Also, like shockingly, both Michael Pittman and Josh Downs are supposed to play as of this morning reports. So Michael Pittman, who was supposed to be going on the IR, is now magically playing.
Yeah, I'm not. None of the Colts are in my starting lineups.
No,
I'm not starting any one of them.
Yeah,
no way. No, thank you. All right, then we have the Houston Texans taking on the Patriots in Foxborough. Houston is favored by 6.5 on the road. Over under is 38.5. It is not the lowest over under, but it is pretty low. We have Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell. I want to see Tank Dell have that game. In the few games without Nico Collins last year, Tank Dell was getting like 12 targets. So I'm really hoping to see that type of game from Tank Dell, especially because I have him in quite a few leagues. But other than that, we see today I don't think I had enough coffee because my names are escaping me. But Joe Mixon is back in action today. This New England defense hasn't been great. I think Houston absolutely stomps them, and I mean that's kind of where I'm at with this game. I'm playing all the Houston players. Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon. They're all starting for me and confidently.
Yeah, I think also the other guy I would look to right now with the injury to Collins is if you're streaming tight ends, is I would maybe look at Dalton Schultz. You could see an uptick on him and where his targets. My only concern a little bit with Dell is if he's kind of shadowed up by Christian Gonzalez, who is proving to be one of those pretty difficult corners to play with. But
you think he'll be on Dell?
We'll see. I think so. I don't think I don't know for sure if he travels to the slot. Diggs is going to play the slot majority of the time. If he does, then that opens up Dell for a bigger game, but I'm not sure if we'll see that or not.
Okay, something to monitor. We'll see what it's going. All right, then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Tampa Bay is favored on the road by 3.5. Over under is 42.5. I mean, what do we think of Tampa Bay? Right? They started hot and then they got cold. Pause that real quick. We got Danny Cousins join us.
Oh yeah.
What up, Danny? Dak or Jordan Love? I'm going Dak.
I'm gonna let you take this because I'm gonna let you do the analysis on this because Jackson has this decision to make in his league, and he is not wanting to just take my opinion at it. So I'll let you take this.
I don't know if you just cut out or if my headphones just cut out, but I missed what you said.
Okay,
I'll take it.
you take it.
It's Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is the right play here. The Detroit Lions pass defense is susceptible. You can get them. And Dallas doesn't run the ball anyway. So I expect Dak to be airing it out. I think Detroit's going to go up to an early lead, and I think Dak's just going to be slinging it the entire game. I expect over 300 passing yards from Dak, probably 2 or more touchdowns from Dak. With that being said, I mean, I love Jordan Love in this matchup too. I love Love. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Who I think Dak will outscore Jordan Love personally, because I also like Josh Jacobs to have a big game. But I'm going Dak. Shane, would you go Dak over Jordan?
Okay, so there you go. Jackson, if you're listening, what I was saying when you cut out there was Jax has the same decision in his league, and he didn't want to trust just my opinion on it. So there you go. It has been stated, Jax, that Dak is the play.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the better game. Although these are like 2 of my top games that I'm looking at this week is Arizona at Green Bay and Detroit at Dallas. But I think Detroit and Dallas is going to be the better game, and I think it's in more high scoring, better game script for Dak. So I'm going Dak over Jordan Love. But thanks for your question, Danny. Keep them coming if you got them. All right, so yeah, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. What do you think here?
So we have the debut of Spencer Rattler in this play. So, and then we've got, I'm curious to watch because we have a long-standing history of Mike Evans' bad performances against Marshawn Lattimore. So
this is like the one matchup, like, they probably circle in their calendars every year. It's like they have such a history, these two. So yeah, I like Gordon or Godwin. Man, my brain is just in shambles right now. I love Godwin today because of the fact that Evans is shadowing or is going to be shadowed by Marshawn Lattimore. But I'm curious to see how Rattler plays, man. You heard him. You heard the comments early on in the season or early on in the week saying, "Hey, I need to get Chris Olave the ball." I feel like Olave is going to get hyper targeted because of that. So I like, I like Olave today. I like his yards and receptions, but something tells me that Rattler could surprise everybody in New Orleans in his first game against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I would too. I don't know if you got what that line is, but if it's like 5, I mean, I'd be looking maybe at the Saints.
Yeah, it's 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
Yeah, Tampa Bay's favored by 3.5, but I don't know. Tampa Bay's defense is just all over the place. You know. What's up, Porter? How's it going? Happy Sunday. I have the Jags over the Bears, so I'm going to talk to you guys after the game. Yeah, it's not looking good for you, Porter. They're losing 21-3, so have fun watching that game. Bear down. All right, so yeah, I think Tampa Bay ends up winning, but I have a feeling that Rattler could surprise everybody and create that conversation of, hey, this might be his job moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So something to look at. All right, then we have the Cleveland Browns at Philadelphia. Philly is favored by 8.5 at home. This is the biggest spread of the week. And over-under is 41.5. Cleveland has just been one of the worst offenses in the NFL so far. They are ranked like 31st, I think, in offensive production. And Philadelphia's defense, their pass defense is pretty bad. So this is a game where, they could get back on track, but it's in Philly. 8.5 points is a lot, but I like Philly to win. And Cleveland's defense hasn't been what we expect from Cleveland, right? Last season, they were one of the best defenses in the league. And now so far, like, they just got torched by the Washington Commanders. Granted, they are a good team this year, but still, I expected more from the Cleveland defense.
Yeah, the Eagles, I picked up the Eagles in a couple leagues to stream this week, despite how lowly rated they are. But I mean, Washington's defense was pretty bad, and we just saw what they did to the Browns in Washington last week. So it's going to be a tough week, I think, for any Cleveland starters. I'd be benching Amari Cooper. And I just wonder, like, how much longer. I mean, they know they're tied to him, but will they still just ride out the season with Watson if he comes out and has another bad?
Somebody mentioned that about is Jameis Winston going to come in? And like, I just don't see how you do that. I mean, you have all this money going to Deshaun Watson. You got to ride it out through better or worse. Like, you're paying him all this money. You're just going to sit him and have Winston come in. It's not like you have Joe Flacco anymore. It's Jameis Winston. So I don't know. I think they keep Watson in the game, and they just struggle and get a good draft pick next year. And that's just what it is. They're just a bad football team right now. So Philly wins.
Yeah. Oops.
What do we got here? Fantasy Roadshow. Oh, what is this? Did you do this?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
have a question. I have to pick up a kicker this week, and so I want somebody. I wanted another opinion of kicker pickup besides my own bias.
Okay, all right, fair enough. If anybody has any,
so I'll give you some of the options out there. I'm looking here on the waiver wire right now.
Okay.
So there's Chris Boswell. There is Greg Joseph. There's Chase McLaughlin. There is the Packers kicker.
I like Chase McLaughlin.
Chase McLaughlin.
Yeah, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think the Saints defense is pretty good, so they may stop Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay marches down the field and they get in scoring position. So I feel like McLaughlin's a safe play.
Okay,
that's who I would go with personally.
Right.
All right. Did you delete the comment?
If I did, I didn't know I did it. Where did it go?
Oh, well, I don't know where it is, and I can't get rid of this comment.
Okay.
There we go. All right, cool. We're good. All right. Anyway, moving on. We got the Washington Commanders in Baltimore taking on the Ravens. Ravens are favored by 6.5 at home. Over under is 51.5. High over under, and that seems like a lot of points for Baltimore with how good this Washington team is playing. I think I'd be on Washington plus 6.5. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting. We were just talking about the Eagles and Browns. Like we talked about, you mentioned it the last couple of weeks, like those big those big spread games, like the underdogs have come through. I don't remember what the record is, but it's pretty one-sided.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers after 5 weeks, but early on it was very one-sided.
Yeah, it is.
The underdogs by over 5.5 points have been winning.
I could see them staying within like 5 points in this game for sure.
Probably I think the Ravens should win this game.
Yeah,
but with how Commanders have been playing, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Commanders end up winning.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a statement game for them. I think it's going to be a great game. Baltimore's pass defense is terrible. Washington's pass defense is terrible. So I love Terry McLaurin. I love Zay Flowers. Washington's defense to tight ends is pretty good. So I'm staying away from Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. God forbid Mark Andrews. And then obviously Derrick Henry, the king. He's going to show out today. So I like this game. I'm really excited to watch this game. I think Baltimore wins, but I think Washington keeps it close. I really do.
Yeah, and will there be? Let's just play out this scenario. If Washington wins in Baltimore and Jaden Daniels outduels Lamar Jackson and has a huge game, is there starting to be talk about Jaden Daniels' MVP frontrunner race?
With as good as Washington's playing, I don't know about front runner, but he's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because right now, Derrick Henry is like MVP conversation right now with how he's playing. So yeah, absolutely. If Jaden Daniels can go into Baltimore, win against a team that is expected to be very far into the playoffs, this is a tough game. And if he comes out and shows out, he definitely deserves to be in the conversation for MVP. Absolutely. All right, now we have the Los Angeles Chargers at Denver starting off the 3:00 slate. The Chargers are 3-point favorites on the road. Over-under is 35.5. I believe that is the lowest over-under of the week. This is going to be an ugly game. Denver defense is really good, and we have a Gabe Davis touchdown.
Oh, that helps
Gabe Davis touchdown. He dropped a boneheaded pass.
Oh, that was a bad one.
Defense definitely helped out with that drop, but he should have got that. Anyway, Chargers, Broncos, it's going to be an ugly game. I would even take the under on 35.5. But these defenses, the Chargers and the Broncos defenses are very good. They're top 10 in basically all categories. I don't want to play anyone in this entire matchup. I don't want any fantasy players in this matchup. J.K. Dobbins, anyone. Javonte Williams, Cortland Sutton, the quarterbacks.
No.
I'm just staying away as far as possible as I continue to throw cats off my desk. So yeah, there's not much to talk about here fantasy wise. I think it'll be an ugly game.
I think it's ugly, and I think the Broncos win this game. Outright.
I do too. Yeah. The Broncos have been playing better too. They've been scoring some. Their defense has been playing really good, which helps out Bo Nix. But we saw Bo Nix get in a little argument with Sean Payton on the sideline last week. Did you see that?
Yeah, a little moxie to him. Yep.
Yeah, a little moxie to him. We'll see what happens. But this is going to be a tough game. Very defensive heavy match. I think it's just an under game. Taking the unders on all the props. All right, then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Pittsburgh is 3-point favorites on the road. Over under is 36.5. Very low over under. Pittsburgh's defense is still very, very good. The Raiders defense isn't very good at all. So Justin Fields needs to keep this job. So he needs to play good. They got to win this game. I think they win the game no matter what. I think Pittsburgh defense is gonna show up and stop the Raiders. They don't have they're out of Devontae Adams isn't playing. Help me out with the other guy.
Zamir White's out.
Jacoby Myers. Yeah, yep. Zamir White, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams, they're down. So you got Trey Tucker. You got, what's the title? Oh my God, this is bad. My name's
Bowers is in there for
Brock Bowers. Yeah. So you got playmakers, but I'm just not starting any one of them against this Pittsburgh defense. It's going to be really tough sledding for Vegas all day. Ugly game, just like the Denver Chargers game. I just don't want much action in this game, but I'm hopeful for Justin Fields. I want to see a good game from him so he can keep the starting job, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yep.
Sup, boys? Oh, you want to comment after the Jags scored a touchdown, huh? They want to comment after the Jags scored a touchdown. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Game's still going, buddy.
Oh, breaking news. Joe Flacco will start for the Colts today.
What?
Yes.
Joe Flacco is starting for the Colts. All right, rewind. We're going to talk about the Colts game at Tennessee. I think the Colts win this game. I like Pittman. I like Downs. Give me Trey Sermon. Give me everybody on the Colts.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. I'm curious,
Flacco.
Joe Flacco. I'm curious if something happened in the pregame warmups or that Richardson didn't look good.
I hope it didn't. Because they were saying, barring any last minute setbacks, it was going to be Richardson.
Yeah.
So, but again, if the Colts want to win this game, you got to have Joe Flacco in. Like it's just the sad truth.
I feel much better. Like if you're starting Downs or Pittman, or like you said, even Sermon's a little bit more back in play.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I mean, Tennessee defense is still tough, but Flacco can get it done.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, now we got Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. We talked a little bit about it earlier. I think this is the game of the week. I think Detroit wins. They are favored by 3.5 on the road. So in Dallas, 3.5. Over under is 52.5, the highest over under of the day. And I still think the over hits at 52.5. I feel like everyone's going to be scoring here. I love David Montgomery. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. Even the two pass catchers, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. I love everybody in this game. Give me the Dallas pass catchers. I'm not starting Rico Dowdle or Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know anybody that would be starting them right now. I know struggling with injuries and stuff, but you got to have better options elsewhere. Those are very, very tough. Travis Etienne, hamstring is questionable return. He's out.
Well, I think your audio cut out. Try replugging in your headphones again. Nothing yet. So other breaking news that just came across, it's probably not impacting starting wise, but Christian Watson, who has been out, is active and going to be playing today for Green Bay. So I think the takeaway from that is it's maybe, if you were going to be starting a Wicks or a Dobbs, it's probably takes them out of consideration, even though Watson, he may or may not be playing a full snaps, but he's going to take away some targets in that game away that Wicks was getting. Wicks is not going to be getting the 13 targets that he got 2 weeks ago for sure right now. So let's see, any other news that have come across. We got the Flacco news. Nothing else. Mixon and Pierce are both active. So for Houston, that takes away anything of Akers playing or Dari Ungawali in that game. So there we go.
I'm back.
There we go.
All right. Sorry about that. My reconnected. Anyways, what were you saying? Were you talking about?
I was just saying that not probably a big impact fantasy wise, but Christian Watson is active and playing now today for the Packers. So that just came across too. So
let's see how long he stays on the field.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
See how long he stays on the field. All right. So what were you talking about with Detroit and Dallas? What do you think about this game? Do you think Dallas can win this game? If Dallas beats the Lions today, that's a statement for the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's so weird. I feel better about the Cowboys actually when they play on the road than they are at home. Like, I don't know. It's not a big home environment, and they just seem it's a fast indoor, field, and that's really not their game. They're not fast playing, whereas like the Lions with their weapons, it actually better suits them. So I think the Lions do end up winning this game. But yeah, fantasy bonanza for this game should be.
Well, what that breakdown just told me is the Dallas Cowboys are going to win today, because anytime you say they're going to lose, they end up winning. Anytime you say they're going to win, they're going to end up losing. So I'm taking the Cowboys to win the game. That's what I'm going to do after that breakdown. But yeah, it's going to be a great game. I want every piece in this matchup. Put them all in my lineups. Absolutely. All right. Then we have for the last 3:00 game, we have the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta is favored by 6 on the road. Over under is 46.5. Is Atlanta just going to continue to dominate? This is a good matchup for Atlanta. I think Bijan Robinson finally shows up and comes alive for fantasy rosters after being like a fringe RB2 scoring wise over the first couple of weeks of the season. But I'm looking for a big day from Atlanta today. What do you think?
I actually this is like one of my upset specials. I think I would take Carolina and the points. I think this is a little bit of a letdown after that huge week Atlanta had, and Carolina's back at home. I think this will be more like a 3 to 4 point game. I take the points in this. This should be a bounce back game also for Deontay Johnson. Getting back into your lineups. Chicago was just an awful matchup. This is a better matchup this week playing at home for Carolina. So probably also the last week you're going to get a full 20 touch total game from Chuba Hubbard, because I bet
why is that?
I bet we see Mr. Brooks making his
return
Jonathan next
Brooks
week. I think
makes his debut next week. Imagine if next week we have Jonathan Brooks and Nick Chubb back in action.
Ooh, yeah.
That will be sweet for fantasy.
Yeah.
I can't wait, because I have a lot of leagues where they're just sitting on my IR for the first 5 weeks. So, I agree. I think this could be a bounce back game from Carolina. I like Chuba Hubbard. I like Deontay Johnson. But I love the matchup for Atlanta. So I expect Atlanta to win. I expect all the playmakers to show up in a juicy matchup against Carolina's bad defense. So should be a good game, though. I'll be watching this one pretty closely. All right, now we have Cincinnati Bengals at New York Giants. Cincinnati is favored by 3.5. Over under is 46.5. This game could go either way.
Yeah,
and it scares the shit out of me that we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals potentially losing to the New York Giants. I mean, the Bengals just haven't looked good, but this is usually around the time when they start turning things around and start playing really good. So Giants defense has been a lot better. All right, well, perfect question. Now we're talking about the Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals, Tyrone Tracy or Chase Brown. And for me, it's Tyrone Tracy. We saw Tyrone absolutely have a great game last week. And I think that he's going to do again this week. Cincinnati Bengals defense is not very good. And I expect Tyrone to be running all over the place. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, if Zach Moss would have been out, I would have taken Chase Brown, given his upside. But with Moss being active, I like Tracy. Singletary is not supposed to be playing right now, so Tyrone Tracy probably is going to have the majority of those carries. We saw Eric Gray have the fumble. Also, the matchup's great. Like Truck kind of mentioned a little bit, like Cincinnati has given up the third most rushing yards per game. So I think this is a better matchup and better production you get from Tracy.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, but I agree with the last part. You get a lot of better production from Tracy. I'm expecting a big game from the Bengals too. I think T. Higgins scores a touchdown. I think Jamar Chase has a monster game. And Joe Burrow shows up. But Daniel Jones is definitely in play today. Yeah. This Bengals defense isn't very good. So I like this game. I think we're going to be in line for a good Sunday night football game. You know what I mean? As opposed to those terrible under games. I think this is going to be an over game. No Neighbors again, unfortunately. I would have loved to see Neighbors and Chase duel it out on who's the better wide receiver. But, yeah, I like this game. I'm excited for Sunday night. I think the Bengals end up winning, but it's going to be tough, man. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game, and it's going to come down to the wire. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Who do you think wins? Did you say?
I think the Bengals can win this game too.
Yeah. All right, and then we have Monday night. I'm not excited for Monday night because we have the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. Buffalo is favored by 2. Over-under is 40.5. And I'm going to tell you right now, Culls was not happy that you red-lighted Josh Allen this week. He was not happy about that at all. I tried to explain to him, Josh Allen the past 2 weeks hasn't been playing well. And then on top of that, you got the Jets defense has been playing really good, although they haven't been playing very good quarterbacks. So this game, I really want to see Josh Allen show up and take on a tough divisional matchup, the Jets. So who do you think wins this game?
And you got to have the right scenario to bench Allen. Like, for example, in one of my leagues, I'm benching him for Jaden Daniels, but I would also bench him for Jared Goff. So that's kind of like my line of who I'm putting in for him. Obviously, if you're in a one quarterback league, I wouldn't pick somebody up to play in front of him. But in this case, that's the scenario I would play for him. I can't tell what to make of this game, who's going to win it. Like every year we see like the team that fires their coach, like they get that one game, that first game bump of playing really well. Like, do you remember like the Colts when they brought in Jeff Saturday out of ESPN's booth and they went on the road and won against the Raiders? I was thinking, like,
yeah, I can
see something like that happening. Like, there's not much I'm excited about on the Buffalo side, offensive wise. I would just say on the Jets side, this is the Breece Hall week. Last week was the Garrett Wilson week. This is the Breece Hall week. The Bills give up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. So
running
and back. DJ, the running back. Sorry, I got distracted because of the stupid alert that says DJ Moore is headed to the medical tent.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I got that as well. Didn't want to mention it because I don't like seeing stuff like that. So hopefully he's okay and then he's just getting a quick checkup. But we'll see because he only has 12 yards on the day, and that's tough.
That's brutal. Okay.
I needed him to have 40, so that's bad. Anyway, New York changing up the play calling. So we're going to see, some change up in that form. And I think that change up comes with Breece Hall. If you got a new B Cork, what's going on? I didn't even realize that was B Cork that asked Tyrone Tracy or Chase Brown. That was on me, B Cork. Welcome in, B Cork. Missed you, buddy. Coleman or Michael Watson? Keon Coleman or Michael Watson? Michael Wilson.
I don't know how you can trust Keon Coleman, right?
You can't.
He
You
just
can't.
he had the touchdown, but I'm almost positive that was his only catch of the game, or maybe he had two. Like the target volume is not there, and like I was so big on Coleman, but they basically only run him one route. It's like go routes. They're not making him run different routes. So I'd go with Wilson in a higher scoring game. I think that's going to be Arizona throwing the ball and needing to throw more than Buffalo will in that Jets game.
Yeah. Yeah, Keon, it's just tough, man. It's really tough. Each week I'm waiting for the breakout and it doesn't come. So, yeah, I'm going Michael Wilson. I think Michael Wilson could have a big game.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, that's the slate. Shane, do you have any other than kickers?
Yes, I do have a couple. I do have a couple
What
ones here.
What's going on?
I just was looking. I was trying to remember. All right, so I've got a flex spot debate. I've got Chase Brown, who's now going to be splitting. I've got Trey Sermon, who maybe looks a little bit better. Or I could slide in Slayton in that Giants-Bengals game. Maybe he's got a similar game as last week with Neighbors out.
I like Slayton. I think Slayton's the right play. I expect another big game from him. I could see the Bengals going up early and the Giants playing from behind. And Slayton showed us that without Neighbors, he can step into that role. So
yeah, and I think I need a high upside play because I got Metcalf, who only put up 7 points Thursday night, and then DJ Moore now, and DJ Moore in this league, who is obviously not having a great day.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm just looking at my lineups. I realize I have Travis Etienne and DJ Moore in the lineup. Etienne -0.1 so far, and DJ Moore 4.2 heading into the medical tent is tough. Yeah, I think you go Darius Slayton.
All right,
Slayton.
Put him in right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I have Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen, and Daniel Jones.
Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen, and Daniel Jones. Okay. I don't think I'm ready to bench Josh Allen for Daniel Jones.
Or Kirk Cousins.
No. I think I'd just stick with him.
Yeah. Interesting, though. All right, I got another one here for you. Mike Evans or Tank Dell?
Evans.
Evans, okay. J.K. Dobbins or Tank Dell?
Oh, that one's a little tougher. I think I might lean Dell on that one. Because like you said, I think that's just a real tough, bad, low-scoring, mucky game in the Chargers and Broncos.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Porter, where you at, buddy? Caleb just threw another touchdown to Keenan Allen. Where you at, buddy?
Did he really?
What do you got to say? What do you got to say, Porter? Still on the Jags?
Keenan Allen. All right.
Keenan Allen, 2 touchdowns. Big day. All right. So, yeah, that helps. I'll go with Tank Dell over J.K. Dobbins and stick with Mr. Josh Allen over Kirk Cousins in a good matchup against the Cardinals or the Panthers.
Okay, so in our shared lead, Trek, I think we have a tough call here.
Okay.
We've got we have Keon Coleman, who we just talked about, getting hardly any targets, any production. We've got Allen Lazard, who somehow is getting double-digit fantasy production like the last 3 weeks. It's the ugliest,
got a high floor.
It's the ugliest high floor you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Or we've got Trey Tucker or Jeremy McNichols. I think we forgot to mention in that Washington game that Brian Robinson will not be playing in that game.
That's true. Yes, we forgot to mention that.
The matchup's not great.
No, so you got Jeremy McNichols against the Ravens.
Yeah.
You have, what were the other options?
We got Allen Lazard against the Bills, or Trey Tucker now, who is playing Pittsburgh with no Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams. And a switch to Aiden O'Connell at quarterback.
Yeah, I'm going Allen Lazard.
Okay, that's who we got in. All right, so
yeah, I think you're safe with that one.
Okay.
Trey Sermon or Antonio Gibson.
Ooh. That's a tough one. Ooh, man. Because we got news. Yeah. Did they officially rule out Stevenson for that game?
I thought so.
Okay, I thought so too.
I think he's officially out. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, that makes it a little bit tougher with Flacco in there. But
Tennessee defense is really
Tennessee's
good.
so good. I think I'm going to lean Gibson. I'm going to lean Gibson just because of the matchup. Houston, let me look here. Yeah, Houston. I mean, Houston's still giving up over their last 3 games, giving up 142 yards rushing per game. And then Gibson's going to get receiving work. So,
yeah. Man, I have too many rosters with ETN and DJ Moore. That's what I'm realizing. Getting absolutely demolished with those two in my lineup. That is for sure. All right, scanning my other teams. Let's see here. Going with Chase Brown in my running back spot. Chase Brown or Trey Sermon?
I'm going to go Chase Brown.
Chase Brown over Trey Sermon.
Yeah. I just think I watched a lot of that Colts game last week because I was starting Sermon in like 3 games. He looked awful. Like,
yeah, he didn't look good.
No burst at all. And like when Goodson came in, he looked much better. He had much more of a burst to him. I mean, it's just plodding.
Fumble. I paused the game. What's going on? Fumble Rooski? Are you ahead of me?
I don't even have it on. But B Corp must be ahead of you.
Yeah, Jags got the ball. Did the Bears fumble?
They must have, I guess.
They just scored a touchdown. So how did that happen? I don't know. I'm not paying attention to the game. I'm doing the stream. Yeah, B Corp, let me know what happened with that fumble. All right. So I have we're staying with Chase Brown. Not Tyjae Spears.
No.
Oh, Jags on return. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Darius Slayton, I have in my starting lineup. Darius Slayton or DeAndre Hopkins.
I like Slayton.
Yeah, me too. All right, Coles and I are sharing a team in Edgers. And we have Jerome Ford, Zach Moss, Antonio Gibson, all in the flex spots. And that's what we're rocking with because we don't have Tyrone Tracy in our taxi squad. We need to promote him from the taxi squad. But who do we sit? Zach Moss, Antonio Gibson, or Jerome Ford?
Ford.
Yeah. I think we should definitely do that. So sit Ford, bring up Antonio or bring up Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, that's going to be – I think this is a great matchup for Tracy.
I do too. He needs to be promoted from the taxi squad.
Yeah, and I even when Singletary comes back, like if he has another great game, I think this becomes more like two-headed like Pollard and Spears and Moss and Chase Brown type of situation.
I agree. All right, my abysmal Fantasy Roadshow Dynasty League team is horrendous. Keenan Allen is doing well. I got him for the 2 touchdowns. Let's see. I got Trey Tucker in the lineup, Darius Slayton. My other options on the bench are No Bueno, Rashad Bateman, Tyler Boyd, Jalen McMillan, Josh Palmer, Jahan Dotson. All right, we're gonna forget that one. And our division or our FBG league, we're all good in that one, right?
Yeah, that was the one I was asking about for Lazard.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, then I'm all set. Are you all set?
Yeah, I think I am.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on this Sunday morning. Thanks for all your questions. You guys are awesome. Join us again next Sunday at 10 a.m. And it won't be during a Bears game, so I'll be much more tuned in as to what's going on. But hope everybody has a good day today. Hope everybody wins their fantasy matchups and wins all their bets. And good luck to everybody. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and look out for our red light, green light next week, week 7. So thanks again, and buckle up.